Hello everyone, Shroom Raver here, and today I'm bringing you the week number 10 team builder of the PPL. Yes indeed. Now today we're going up against Shroom and the Parasect Germain, and realistically, let's just take a minute. By the way, I got a haircut, I look sexy AF. But like, in all seriousness, I'm going up against Shroom today in the PPL. This is going to be the team builder, and I'm a little worried about this game because right now my entire relegation, if I do not win my last 2 games, I can be relegated back down to D2. So no matter how much I hate my team, no matter how much I'm disappointed in and how much I wish I could not have these battles and still get relegated, or like still not get relegated, I need to try my hardest to win so that way I can not get relegated. Realistically, I'm going to try every single week. Like, I don't ever not try. I just have had terrible luck recently. But Shroom is a great friend of mine. I've had a couple of rough times in the time that I've been in PPL, like with family issues and things like that. And Shroom has actually messaged me and called me and talked to me, and he's been a really good friend. So Shroom, if you're watching this, I want to say thank you. As like on a personal level, thank you for being an awesome human being and just being an amazing person. I have a lot of respect for Shroom as just a general friend. He's an awesome person. But I have to destroy him. That's just how it is. And his team is extremely like spoopy.net. It's very scary. His team, I don't know why my webcam keeps lagging like that. Consider turning down the settings is what is a notification I just got. I don't have any settings on. It's just whatever. His team is actually really scary. It is Mesprit, Sylveon, Mega Scizor, Crocodile, Jellicent, Blaziken, Weezing, Tornadus Eye, Electabuzz, Kabutops, and Noctowl. You might think he has a couple meme picks in there, but they're not meme at all. Like Noctowl, Electabuzz, Blaziken, Weezing, they're not meme picks. They're scary as shit. Noctowl not so much for my team because I don't have a whole lot of special attackers. But they're just very, very threatening. Instant threats on his team to look out for. Life Orbed Mesprit can do a lot to my team. Just the coverage of Bolt Beam, Energy Ball, Psychic coverage. It could really hurt my team. Stab, Psychic, and Shadow Ball could do a lot to my team. There's a lot that he could do to my team with Mesprit, and that's really scary. Calm Mind Sylveon, I 110% expect that, so I did plan for that accordingly. Mega Scizor. If it is Swords Dance Mega Scizor, it is probably one of the scariest things on his team. And I'm kind of sort of shitting myself for that, but I just kind of have to hope he doesn't bring that. Crocodile, however, if he brings Swords Dance, he's not going to have Defog, or that means he has to bring Kabutops, and I'll get into that later on in the team. Crocodile is extremely scary for my team. If he's Scarf Moxie, he gets 1 kill. He could sweep me depending on if I have damage off on him or not, and that's scary. Blaziken is actually a really big threat. I have no switch-ins to it at all. So I'm hoping he realizes this. Like, he could bring Life Orb Agility and completely 6-0 me and set up turn 1 and I have nothing to do. I just have to hope that he misses like a high jump kick or something like that. It's a serious threat, and I'm very worried about Blaziken. Weezing is kind of a general threat because it just walls my team. I had to kind of sort of get a little unique for it. Tornadus Eye is another very big offensive threat to my team that I'm really worried about. And that's basically the main threats. Tornadus Eye and Blaziken are the 2 biggest ones. Crocodile is a very close second, and then I guess those are Sylveon, Mesprit. Those are some really big threats to my team, and I'm kind of sort of worried about them. But he doesn't have a whole lot for my team either, which I kind of sort of am taking advantage of. I'm kind of sort of going a little bit more offensive this week than my team normally can because I'm forcing it to. But I do have a very unique team set up for Shroom. And by the way, the nicknames are not going to be on the layout because I'm bringing unique nicknames specifically just for Shroom because I love Shroom. I'm doing the same thing for Alex next week, so if you don't see their nicknames on the layout, it's because it's a surprise, and yeah. So the first mon that I wanted to go over was something that I wanted to get chip damage on his team for the sweeper that I wanted late game, which I knew I wanted from the very start, and the chip damage user that I want is actually going to be my Garchomp. I'm bringing a mostly special Garchomp with Draco, Flamethrower, Earth Power, and Poison Jab. This basically takes out his main wall to this, which is Wheezing. Wheezing is pretty much his only switch into this thing 100% of the time. Because even at +2, he can live an Outrage, he can Will-O-Wisp me and things of that, or I think he can live a Dragon Claw, not an Outrage. But he can live a hit, Will-O-Wisp me, Pain Split me, get off good chip damage, and then put me in range of a Scarf Moxie Crocodile. That's scary. So, I wanted to have Draco Meteor. Max Special Attack Draco Meteor does about 80% to physically defensive Wheezing. I'm pretty sure it's 80%, maybe like 70. But it does a lot of damage and puts him in range of my Late Game Cleaner. Poison Jab is there specifically just for Sylveon because I do not want this thing to be sitting at like +4 special attack and me not being able to hit it at all with Garchomp. So I'm burning 36 attack EVs. It's enough to break a sub. It's enough to do a lot of things, but it's basically just the leftover speed EVs that I had, and I threw them into attack. This is enough speed to outspeed max speed Crocodile in case he wants to run Banded, because he could very well run Banded because my team is so slow. It's just a very huge possibility. The good thing about the matchup that I have against Crocodile, I have a Levitator that he cannot hit with a Earthquake. I also have things that can take knockoffs decently well. Those things being my Garchomp, my Rhydon. Electros can take him decently well depending on the spread, things of that nature. So I don't think he can actually be choiced. I think he might have to be Life Orbed or defensive. So that's one really good thing that I think I do have going for this team. But overall, this thing is there to just get general chip damage off on things. Flamethrower is there specifically for Mega Scizor. It completely OHKOs it if he has no HP investment. Earth Power is there for general stab. It also hits Electabuzz extremely hard if he's not faster than me. Like if he's, say he's Speed Creep my Speed Creep. I think I have an extra 12 points in speed, so I can Speed Creep his Speed Creep. Just in case he thinks like he knows how I run my speed tiers. So if he knows that I'm just going to be outspeeding max speed Crocodile, he might run 1 point to outspeed that, so I outsped that. That's what I did there, and Earth Power completely OHKOs it, so that's one really good thing. Basically though, this thing just gets really good damage off on his team. It actually hits surprisingly hard. It hits the vast majority of his team super effectively as well, so Expert Belt is a really good item. I didn't want Life Orb because I need as much health as possible to live hits and just keep punching holes through things with Draco Meteor on his team. So that's one massive hope I have for this. Sadly, I don't think it'll put too many things in range because he does have things that can just OHKO me, like Mesprit and Jellicent and things of that nature, so I have to be very careful of that. But overall, I think this thing is really awesome. The next thing that I wanted, that I knew was going to be my main sweeper late game, that's Infernape. I wanted to be choiced banded Infernape because, ow. Basically, he doesn't have anything that can take hits from this. At all. He thinks that Jellicent can switch into this thing. Thunder Punch is an easy 2-hit KO on physically defensive Jellicent. No matter what, easy 2-hit KO. Mach Punch does about 80%. No, I'm sorry. It does about 60% to Crocodile, depending on his HP investment. Also depending if he's Intimidate or Moxie. If he has taken like one hit, he instantly dies to Choice Band and Mach Punch. Flare Blitz just hits everything super hard. He doesn't really have a switch into it. It 2-hit KOs everything aside from Jellicent, which I have Thunder Punch for. And Gunk Shot is there specifically for Sylveon. Everything just... If I can get everything in range to die from Flare Blitz, I will spam Flare Blitz until the game is over. That's my main hope. Take out his Choice Scarfer, which I think is either going to be... pardon me. It's either going to be Crocodile or Blaziken. And even then, Blaziken does not like taking Mach Punches at all, so that's a good thing. But yeah, this thing just hits super hard. It has enough speed to outspeed max speed Electabuzz. So if he wants to run like an Violate Electabuzz, I can just kill it late game if he's taking a little bit of damage from Choice Band and Flare Blitz. The HP defense and SPDEF EVs might seem pretty dumb, but realistically, I had 20 EVs left over. 12 EVs into HP gave me an odd number, and then I had 8 left over. You can't put 8 EVs into a stat because it doesn't make any difference, so I put 4 and 4, and there you go. That's basically that. The next mon that I knew I wanted to bring was going to be my Electros. I'm bringing a very, 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 very speedy Electros along with a lot of bulk. This 60 in special attack. It allows me to 2-hit KO physically defensive Jellicent, which I definitely think he's bringing physically defensive if he brings Jellicent at all to take on my Infernape. This allows me to 2-hit KO with Thunderbolt 100% of the time, no matter what. Unless he has a Wakan Berry. That's the only time I can. But this also allows me to outspeed defensive base 80s. So if he is bringing a defensive Mesprit, I can outspeed it and click knockoff on it, which, realistically, he has no reason to run speed in Mesprit at all. He has no reason to do it whatsoever. This is also going to be my main switch in to, well, one of my main switch-ins into his Tornadus. Can't really do a whole lot to me with Hurricane. Okay, so his Tornadus has to have, like, it has the worst 4-move syndrome in this entire game. He needs to have Grass Knot for Rhydon. He needs to have Hurricane for General Stab and for Amoonguss. He needs to have Knockoff or a U-Turn for my Reuniclus or Dark Pulse or something like that. Then he also needs to have, like, HP Ice or Icy Wind, because it does get Icy Wind for my Garchomp. He needs to have... there was one other move I knew he had to have for... Oh, he needs to have Sludge Wave for Togetic. So, one of those moves he cannot have. If he doesn't, like, whichever one I figure out that he doesn't have, that's when I can go into the appropriate killing for it. That made a lot of sense. JK, no, it didn't at all. But basically, this thing is just there to outspeed things and hit them hard. Knockoff, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, Giga Drain, pretty self-explanatory. If he thinks that I'm going to be going for Thunderbolts on his Tornadus, and goes into his Crocodile, I can live a knockoff and I can go for Giga Drain, get a lot of health back, and then just basically go from there. This thing is going to be very key to getting chip damage off for Infernape to sweep. It's going to be putting a lot of things in range for, it's going to be mainly putting in the Jellicent, the Crocodile, and hopefully the Tornadus in range of Choice Bait and Mach Punch. Jellicent, not for Mach Punch, but you get what I'm saying. This thing can actually work really well. I'm hoping at least. And I wanted to run U-Turn over Knockoff, but in the end, there's not much that I would want to go into. My main goal is to drop in a Mon, have it get massive amounts of chip damage on everything, let it die, send in another one, get massive amounts of chip damage off on everything, let it die, and then drop it in Infernape and sweep. That is my hope for these first 3 Mons. It's a very weird plan because it means I have to let things die. But realistically, I have to win. I don't care about differential at this point. All I care is about winning. The next Mon on the team is Rhydon. Now, this is very situational. It may not look like it's very situational just because it's like a bulky Rhydon and it's very standard. However, you guys need to realize this cannot take many hits because it has 2 4x weaknesses to water and grass. This is what I'm going to try to make my dedicated lead. If I don't see Mesprit, this is probably going to be my dedicated lead, mainly because I need to get a Brox. I need to get a Brox ASAP. I need them up. I need to get the 25% on Tornadus, the general 8% on everything else, 12% on everything else. It comes in handy. It really puts a lot of things in range of Infernape. So that's my goal with this. This does have Roar. I can live a +1 physically defensive Sylveon's Hyper Voice. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I need to double check it, but that's what I can live, and I can roar it out if he is Calm Mind. If he's not Calm Mind, he does not want to take Earthquakes. So that's a thing. And if he doesn't want to take Earthquakes and he switches into Wheezing, then I'm going to set up my rocks. I do not care if I get burnt because this thing's main job is to set up rocks. If I see Kabutops and he leads off with Kabutops, I can live 1 Waterfall. I can go for Earthquake. If he has no HP investment, which he will have some, I can completely OHKO it right away. That is impressive. However, he will probably be bringing a very bulky-ish Kabutops, which is kind of sort of scary because I can't one-shot it with this. However, it does put it in range of Mach Punch from Infernape. So that's something to keep in mind. And I outspeed it. Fire Punch is there specifically just for the Mega Scizor. I can live a +2 Bullet Punch fairly easily, go for Fire Punch and do about 80%. I can live a modest max special attack, no boosting item Energy Ball from Mesprit. That's important, because if I find out that he's leftovers Mesprit with Energy Ball and I'm at full health, I can live one. And that's really impressive. I can get off a Fire Punch, get some good damage on it, and put it in range of Infernape. I cannot live, however, a Life Orb Grass Knot from Tornadus, even if he's timid, which I think he will probably be bringing timid, probably. Which is less than ideal, but it is what it is. Overall, though, I think Rhydon's going to be pretty key to the team, getting up rocks, being able to Earthquake things to get off good damage on everything, basically, aside from his 2 Levitators. It'll just be general good chip damage. Plus, if I am in on his Scizor, he goes for U-turn as I go for Roar, things are going to be taking good Stealth Rock damage and good chip damage and forcing things to mainly recover, like his Jellicent or something like that. So that's another really good thing about having Roar on this thing, and I hope it really comes in handy. The next mon that I knew I wanted from the very start was my Amoonguss. On the screen, I have Black Sludge. I'm considering changing it to Cobra Berry. I'm really considering changing it to Cobra Berry. Because if he runs Aerial Ace Scizor, I completely one-shots this thing. If he's at +2, even with through Cobra Berry, it one-shots. So, ultimately, I'm not sure how much it matters. So, I just need to be a little careful with it. But this thing is just a general switch into things like Crocodile to get good damage off, scare it out, get Toxics off on things like the Jellicent and things of that nature. Again, key chip damage. That's all I'm going for. Giga Drain is there because I don't really need Sludge Bomb. It would be nice to hit the Sylveon. However, if I can Toxic it, force him to Heal Bell, I know that he is not then Calm Mind unless he's Mono Hyper Voice, and then I can install him out of Wishes, clear Small Game, things of that nature. And I can deal with him that way. Plus, I would also put him in range of, yet again, Choice Band and Infernape. So, that's that thought process. Ultimately, this thing is mainly probably going to be the first thing to die if I let anything die, because it's just there to get a few things with chip damage. The main things that I want to get chip damage are going to be Electros, Rhydon, and Garchomp in my final mon. But this thing is just kind of there. Tank a couple hits, get a little bit of chip damage off, maybe Toxic as well as that I can, and yeah, go from there. Hidden Power Fire. If he's Swords Dance, Scizor, Foul Play does do more, a significant amount more. However, if he is Swords Dance, he's probably going to have Bug Bite or Aerial Ace, specifically for Amoonguss, and it doesn't really matter then anyway, so I'm just going to be running Hidden Power Fire. I might change it to Foul Play, but I doubt it. I highly doubt it, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know when we get into the game. The final mon on the team is going to be my Reuniclus, my Cobra Berry Reuniclus. So, my thought process with this Reuniclus. If he's Fizz, Def, Jellicent, he will not want to be taking a Shadow Ball from this thing. It'll do about 40%, which is always nice. The most he can do to me is like with a Hex or Shadow Ball. I can take 2 of them fairly easily, force him to recover. If he switches out and goes into his Crocodile, I have enough special attack EVs to 2-hit KO it, even if it's max HP with Signal Beam. That's huge because after 1, he's in range of Choice Band and Infernape. So, that's really important. And Cobra Bear is there mainly because I think he's going to try to Pursuit Trap this thing more so than I think he's going to try to knock it off. I think that he will definitely go for the Pursuit Trap on this because once he sends in his Crocodile, I can't leave this thing in anyway. So if he's going to Pursuit Trap me, big deal. If he's going to go for Cobra, if he's going to go for Knockoff, the Cobra Bear will pop and won't be doing a whole lot anyway. Actually, who am I kidding? It'll be doing a shit ton of damage, but it'll die to 2 Signal Beams. So that's a plus. This thing, just general, again, good chip damage on things, hopefully, and put things in range of Garchomp and Infernape. My other 4 mons really put things in range of Garchomp and Infernape, and that's awesome. Infernape also outspeeds the vast majority of his team aside from Scarfers along with Tornadus Eye. So, have I been saying Tornadus Therian? Yes, Tornadus Eye. I don't know what I'm smoking. Actually, I do know what I'm smoking, but that's not your guys' business. Anyway, this team, pretty cool. I like it. I think it'll do well. I'm hoping to win. Shroom, I love you, buddy, but I gotta kill you. Sorry, it is what it is. If you guys did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like. Also, make sure to leave a comment and go over to Shroom's channel, give him a subscribe, let him know how much he's an awesome person and enjoy his content, because he has some very awesome content. I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.